Hey, come on in. I'm just looking at some notes. My name is Terri Morgan. This is my studio. I teach and I practice Chinese internal martial arts, Tai Chi, Qigong, Bagua Xingyi, and also have a couple of sword forms. And I also translate for the English-Chinese pair, and I do a few other things. Right now, I want to talk a little bit about my background in Chinese martial arts, some of the things that I've done, some of the things that I still look forward to doing. But the question has come up repeatedly when I speak with people. Do you have any certificates? Do you know, how can we tell that you know what you're doing? You know, what about this and what about it? Okay, well, I have a few. I got a couple. And so I'm going to talk about this just a little bit. I'm back reaching way back over here in the corner. This old little broken thing that is, I don't know if it was basketball or baseball. First place, National League, 1969. And then I was on the All-Star team back in that era for baseball. So I've been competitive most of my life. I started my very first taiji class in 1979. I did not continue with that particular class. It wasn't until 4 years later, 5 years later, 1984, that I started the studies that I have continued to this day. So, 35 years, this is a plus. In 1979, I was doing two things. One is I tried to start learning, I do way more than two things, but we talk about two for right now. Started learning Tai Chi. And I was also starting college, and I wanted to learn dance. I wanted to, modern ballet is, classical dance, not ballroom dance. So I was doing both. I found that it was difficult for me to get to the Tai Chi class. I was already on campus for the dance class. I went and did that. And I am so thankful that I did that, because the training that I received through classical ballet gave me the skills to learn and become, I'm reasonably proficient, I guess is a good way to say it, in Tai Chi. And one of my very first, so I'm going to go back to 1985. My first Tai Chi teacher, a gentleman named Huang Weilun, was teaching an application seminar. Everybody got one of these. He came from southern China and taught a version of Yang style that is somewhat different in some small ways than what Master Zhendou taught. So I have both. I learned from Master Zhendou in some seminars and a couple of workshops, and I studied with Huang Weilun for 3 years, so there's that. My competition, most of this over here is Yang style, the early stuff. This was one of my first place trophies. I kind of got up off the bench and nailed it. First place. These were in the karate world. Karate tournaments had divisions for people who practice Chinese martial arts, so you could go and you could compete. There were a variety of questions regarding how the judging should be conducted versus how the judging was conducted, and nothing wrong with it other than the kinds of things that should be expected for certain systems are not necessarily the same things that are expected for another system, and as particularly in internal arts, there's some things that are special. So if the judges aren't prepared for that, it's difficult for them to correctly assess how the person's performing. So one of the pioneering events in Chinese martial arts was the Winchester Tai Chi Chuan tournament. Pat Rice started this tournament, and it was the only tournament in the country where everybody that was practicing a particular Tai Chi system got their own division. And there was other internal arts as well. It was very, very focused on the internal arts. In 1989, a gentleman named Jeff Bolt started the All Chinese Styles National Tournament. Now, the tournament that Pat Rice had created was a national event, but all of the Shaolin systems, all of the external systems were not represented at that event because it was focused on internal arts. Jeff said, let's have everybody. And he did. In 1989, I went and I placed first in the Yang Style division, period. It was, I got the highest total points of anybody at the event. First place. 5 years later, I did similar at the same event, first place, national rank. So I got a few little things over here. This was from an event that I'm actually very proud and pleased that I was able to attend. This is a third place medal from the Shaolin Festival in Zhengzhou in 1997. I performed a Shaolin Lohan form, traditional. I also competed. I also competed in the Tai Chi division, and I did an exhibition event. In the Tai Chi division, I did two Tai Chi forms. I did the Yang style form, and I did my Wudang Tai Chi form. And I placed first for the Yang style form, and sixth for the Wudang style form. There were no other non-Chinese participants that placed in that particular event that day. I was amazed and incredibly pleased. It's difficult to do that, and I had some challenges in getting there, and then just in getting up and competing. But that's what some of this is out here for, is to prompt me to talk about some of the stories that went with, as well as to give anyone who's interested in studying with me some assurance that yeah, I know what I'm doing, and there's a whole bunch of other people that think that I know what I'm doing too. So it's not, here's a certificate and we're going to certify that you can do this. I've got 30 years of competition and judging history that says, yeah, I can do this. So I'd like to invite you to come back. I've got a bunch more videos that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing some live streaming. There's going to be lots of opportunities for storytelling and for learning. See you again.